Well, we are joined this evening by a very, very special guest, 2019 Prolific Prep center, Ibrahima Diallo. And Ibrahima just finished his freshman year at Ohio State and is probably one of the nicest, kindest, most genuine people we've ever had in our program, and probably the largest. He's 7 foot and a half with a 7'8" wingspan. It looks like you got a good haircut. You must have just got a haircut a couple days ago, or your haircut looks a lot better than mine. I haven't had a haircut in a while.
Yes, sir. I'm look fresh. I got a fresh cut right now.
Uh, and so right now, you are currently where? Where are you right now?
Right now, I'm in Napa, California with my host family, Catherine and Sean.
You're transferred to us your senior year from Florida. You didn't really know much about our program. You knew a little bit, but you're trying to find a spot your senior year. You wanted to make sure that you're in a good place, and you didn't really know what you were going to do, and then you landed in our program, which we're very thankful of. Talk to us a little bit about going into your senior year, trying to figure out what you were actually going to do, and how you came about choosing our program.
I discovered Prolific Prep when we played them like 2 years ago in the grand section, and I realized there was like a really good team. So I really wanted to be a part of the program because they have a lot of good players.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of them, I know they play in the league, like Josh Jackson. So he was someone like we look up to. Coming to Napa, California, a state I never been before. It was like a kind of new life, like coming from Florida to California. Everything is kind of different, like the weather, like the people, everything. And one of the biggest things is like be around good people. And about the program, there's like that's a really big program, like really nice that have like young kids like to follow their dream. And I'm one of the example like have you as a coach, as a mentor, like the principal Miss Leonie,
Mm.
like she helped us like a lot about academic. Uh, Jeremy helped us too, like development. Coach Philippe Knight was like not like just a friend, just like a coach, but he was like my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Helped me a lot about like on the court and off the floor. Cause like I remember last year I was struggling about biology and chemistry, and
Oh,
he was
wow.
like tutoring me like every day. So there are like a lot of stuff I never gonna forget. Like I feel like sometimes they say family, like I don't know how to say it in English.
En français, c'est quoi? C'est quoi en français?
C'est pas like avoir une famille, c'est pas seulement le sang, mais des fois c'est like c'est plus grand que ça. Des fois tu peux des fois tu peux avoir une famille, mais ça ne veut pas dire que vous êtes relié par ça.
Mm-hmm.
Donc, coming to Napa, having a host family, and I don't want to say host family because they're my family right now. That's my second family. Like they have my back, like everything, like during this quarantine, like sooner school was canceled, like the season was canceled, school, everything. Like they were like the first one, like who called me, like, hey, say, are you coming back home? That's what they say. Look at
Wow.
that, like that's crazy. Like, are you coming back home? So I thought like Senegal just was like my only hometown, but like I find a home.
People don't know you're from Senegal, and you touched upon something that talking to some of your teammates and some talking to former players, they no longer use the word host family, and they've corrected me and said, no, that's like my family. You have two families. You have your family back home in Senegal. You have a very close family, and you're very close to them. They raised you very, very well, and I know you're really close to your sisters and family. And then Catherine and Sean, being your host family now, your family in the United States, the only thing that they want from you is for you to be happy, for you to be safe, and for you to have opportunities in this world that maybe others, may not have. Um, Talk a little bit about, your senior year. Obviously the competition is really tough basketball. You're playing good teams, you got great teammates, but having a family that where every day you can go to a home and have structure and organic love.
That was something like I never experienced. Like since I left my hometown, Senegal, I noticed like something like when we go play game AU or like the regular season, like my teammate, like their family always like come up like to the game,
Mm,
sit on the like sit like on the side like the car, like
hmm
watch their kids like perform. Like that's something like I really wanted to like be my parents like be next to me, like he check on me, watch my game, some stuff like that. So having a host family, they was doing like that thing like every day, like no matter what. I know they are so busy with the work, but like they let like everything and just like show on every game I play. Like when we travel, they travel like that's and they show me like love, like in a lot of like in a lot of ways. So that was something like that impacted like my life. Like that's something really big for me.
So your senior year, you transferred to us from out of Florida. Like you said, coming to a whole new environment, host family, Napa Christian, Justine Leone and her staff, just the love they have for their students, um, and you having to work really hard to qualify. Talk to me about some of the goals you had coming your senior year to us, whether it be basketball or academically. What were some of your goals?
My senior year, I want to improve a lot. I'm gonna start like on with basketball.
Hmm
So I want to like develop like my offense like a lot, like my post moves, stuff like that, like build my game. Cause like I started playing basketball like late, so I had it like to catch up like a lot. And like Philippe prep, like they play like a really tough schedule
Mm,
with a lot of big teams. So that was like a really good experience for me, like playing, going against those guys every night off the floor. I mean, I went to increase like my GPA.
mm,
Yeah, and I was working really hard with that, like challenge myself, like taking like two science my senior year, and yeah, and we did it. Like we just like we were working like really hard after practice. Sometimes I was like, I feel like I don't know, like after practice, like coach be like, hey, E, we have chemistry or we have biology. My own coach, I'm like, wow, is it
yeah,
a basketball coach or is it like a teacher? Like,
yeah,
yeah, but like I just knew like they just care about like the person, not like just like basketball. Cause that's the difference. Some program like they just like care about like basketball. So
mm,
everything about basketball, but like off the floor, like they just like whatever. But politically, like they care more about your academic. And my parents, they care about my school because every time they call me, the first thing they're gonna check is like my school stuff. So
hmm
knowing like I'm gonna go to a program that are gonna take care of my school stuff because basketball gonna stop like one day.
yeah.
So that was thing was like, okay, I'm gonna give them like 100 because like these people really care about my future.
When it was all said and done, you had tons of choices because you performed on the floor and you finished really strong academically. And you must have felt proud, right? Proud of the work you did. No one did your work for you. You really worked hard. How did you feel when you had all these choices the spring of your senior year?
After that, at the end of the year before graduation, I just like look back and was like, wow, like I shared like a big dream. That was like the work for me. I know for some people it is nothing, but like it was really big for me because I was challenging myself every day about my academic.
Looking back, the experience you had your senior year, athletes sometimes get hurt. You know, you hurt your hand. We had surgery on your hand. How did you deal with a little bit of that adversity? You know, how did you deal with being injured, surgery? You know, your senior year. What were some of the thoughts?
I mean, my expectation coming to Profit was big because like I already have a championship like in my freshman year.
Yeah.
So I wanted to like really have another ring in my senior year before I go to college. So
hmm
having the injury, I mean, it was just like I was really going through like stress. Telling my host family, and they helped me a lot about that stuff. Cause like one time I thought like it was over for me because like no one in my family never had a surgery stuff like that, and I was I didn't know what to do, but like
Mm.
sometimes like that's why it's good to be around like good people,
Mm-hmm.
like they're gonna help you a lot. And my second family, like they helped me a lot going through the stuff like prolific prep, like they give me all the support, everything I need like to get my surgery, and that was really successful. That time I was just I mean focusing on my academically, like on my science, like everything I need to take care of. Yeah, that time that's what I was doing, and be ready like to I mean for college.
You got to go home to Dakar, Senegal in the summer after your senior year. It was kind of a surprise. And then your video on the internet through Twitter went viral. Talk to us a little bit about the experience of going back home for the first time in about 4 years.
Be honest, so far in my life, that was the one of the biggest thing I will never forget.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like that was a really big thing for me. Like haven't seen my family over 3 years, so and I got a chance like to go see my family again. So I didn't tell them. I didn't tell them. I just tell my dad like I tell him like 2 days before I was coming. I say, hey, can you come pick me up at the airport? He like, what airport? Who's coming? I'm like, me. He like, no, you're not coming. Like, stop. I'm like, yeah, I am. Because he didn't believe me because he been like too long. I'm like, I'm coming, bro. I'm coming. Just come take me like this time. So yeah, go from that. We didn't tell my mom. I tell him like I just wanna do like a big surprise. So coming landing, he can pick me up. We go on my crib. So my little brother see me first and was like screaming stuff. So I give him my phone, tell him like to take a video of my mom reaction.
Wow.
So yeah, that was I didn't wait for that. So I just he took the video. Me and my mom, my sister, they always so like surprising. So I sent the video to my coach because she was like, "Tell me how your surprise went." So I sent it to my coach.
Wow.
Wake up the next day, see the video on Bleacher Report, ESPN, Fox,
Yeah.
like everywhere. I'm like, what is this? Like, this not me. Like, most like 3 million view. I'm like, wow, I was not waiting for this.
The love you have for your family, and the love they have for you. You know, sometimes people don't realize that international students like yourself, you're far away from home, and you know, you don't get a chance to go home that often.
Hmm.
And you know, you're here in the United States, and you're competing in a sport, and you're going to school, and you're lifting weights, and you're dealing with injuries. But sometimes, you know, we need our families. And you know, you have goals and a dream, and your brother's in Europe studying to be a doctor, and um, that's powerful. And so, you know, sometimes you have to overcome more than others. You know, you're and having good coaches or people that really care for you, or a host family that you now call family, or you know, a principal like Justine Leone, or teammates, you know, like Kwani and Alamami Karoma and Mawat Mag, and you know, Namari Burnett or Zach Hart, whoever, you know, whoever your teammates. How did some of your teammates support you your senior year? Or what was the relationship like? Because we had a good number of international students also on our team.
Oh yeah, I mean they was like they helped me a lot because I got a chance like come to a team like there was some other international.
Mm.
Like you said, Kwani, he's my best friend, so we play like together like since like freshman. So and that's the first guy I knew like when I came to US. Mawar too. Yeah, so I knew this guy and Ed like mm, Ali Amadou. Like we have a really good relationship. Seko and they was at Prolific the time like they was there at like
The year
we were
before.
like teammates. Yeah, they was before, but like coming back was like that's a chemistry I really like about the team too. Cause like all the former of Prolific, like the summer they came back like to the gym and we work hard, we play, then after we go out, eat. Like we do a lot of stuff like off the floor and like
Yeah.
I know because sometimes they y'all don't know. And we build like a really good chemistry. Normally, like we all like good common, like we talk a lot, like and I
Coleman
think like
Hawkins. Yeah.
yeah, that's my guy Pierre. Like all those guys, like we just I mean, we know the team is like anymore. We kind of like brothers, so we got like each about. We talk a lot. Like that's really cool, and they help me like to forget sometime. Like I miss my parents because
Yeah.
some of them they go through the same thing too. So we help each other like have fun, forget about like some stress, and that was really good.
Coleman's going to the University of Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
Mawat Mag's going to Rutgers, so they're both in the Big Ten.
Yeah,
And then you're already in the Big Ten because you're at Ohio State.
yeah,
And so the three of you, you guys might even have some little side bets before because all three teams next year are going to be in the preseason top 25. You might even have to pause for a few seconds before the game to be like, wow, we have come a long way.
yeah. Cause sometimes I be on the phone with Coleman and we be talking about like next season. Yeah, and he'd be like, "If just be ready, bro." I'm like, "I man, I like I can wait." Cause like it was the same case like with Zach when he go to Cincinnati, and we were on the same team too, and we was like talk about it, and like, bro, like we're gonna play, bro. I'm gonna play, bro. Like I'm like, okay, bro. Like I'm ready. Like sometimes it's just like cool, like to play with like a guy, and you play against him like a few years. Like that's just like exciting. And
Yeah,
yeah,
you talked a little bit about Zach Harvey, who's your teammate last year at Prolific. I mean, your first college game, Ohio State is playing Cincinnati, and Zach
yeah,
Harvey is on Cincinnati. And not only was Zach your teammate, you know, he lived with you with your host family in the
mm-hmm.
second semester as he was battling his ankle surgery, which ended his season in December, tearing his three ligaments. And here you are, your first college game, your former roommate with your host family, which is no
Yeah.
longer your host family, they're your family. And here you are playing on November 7th or 6th, 2019 in your first college battle. Small world, crazy.
It is so on because I remember like before we played Cincinnati, like all my team was like, bro, do you know this dude? Because like Coach B telling me like him and Ibs like they live together. I'm like, yeah, that's my brother. So like and they'd be like, so like, how do you feel about it? I'm like, what you mean? How do I feel about it? That's basketball, man. Let's just go play basketball.
Yeah.
But both the call like he's my brother. So, but right now we just have to take care of business.
You talked a little bit about Coleman. I don't know if you know, but this past year, Overtime spent about 4 or 5 months with the team, and they'd filmed like a little mini documentary. And every Sunday there's a 12-minute episode that comes out on YouTube or whatever, and they've already released three of the 14 episodes. Have you been able to see any of the 3 episodes for Prolific Preps team this year on YouTube with the Overtime show? Have you seen that yet?
Yeah, I did. Cause like I see common be posting that on Instagram something, and I see one episode they say that's the funniest guy on the team. I'm like, no, y'all should do, y'all should record me. I'm like, I'm gonna tell you a lot about Common. Cause I know this guy more y'all do. Cause yeah, that was so funny. But I really like it. Watch it. I think that was the first one. But yeah, I really enjoy it. Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah. Well, Ibrahima, you are a special human being. We've had a lot of players in our program's history, a short history, 6 years. and we've had all kinds of different student athletes from around the world. The way you carried yourself as a person, as a student, the way you were raised, no one will ever forget you. And we're happy that a lot of time you get to spend in Napa during the, Christmas breaks or whatever breaks you have, because of Sean and Catherine, who are fantastic human beings. Um, so we're really proud of you. You've worked really hard. Um, we love you a lot. You're going to go into your sophomore year next year. Big things will be expected of you, but you've worked hard, and this is your time. You deserve the opportunity to compete at the highest level. And you'll be competing against some of your former teammates, but regardless, everyone's going to want you to be successful. So thank you again for taking a few minutes tonight to join us to talk a little bit about your story.
Thank you so much, Coach. That was my pleasure. Like, I did a lot of stuff about me, like for me. So it was like a really, really, really good thing you did for me, and it's still doing. So I will never forget those things. So that was my pleasure, like to play for Prolific and be like because everywhere, even in my school, like I'd be wearing like Prolific t-shirt, and they'd be like, "Bro, why are you wearing this? You should wear Ohio State." I'm like, "Bro, this is my school, so I don't want to hear nothing. This is my school. I wear Prolific, like so I gonna represent Prolific like everywhere I go. That's my school because they helped me a lot, and I really love it. Like everybody in that school, so
Yeah,
that was my pleasure.
and we're going to send you a couple extra T-shirts when we get the order next year. I always got to forget if you're triple XL, double XL, and you're 7'1.5". But nowadays, everyone wears the small shirts, right? Everyone's like the small shorts, and like
I know, yeah.
it's the new. I guess it's the new fad, kind of.
I mean, they're trying to flex, so.
Oh, yeah, yeah, but you're super in shape. So make sure you say hi to Catherine and Sean for us and their entire family, and we appreciate it. Merci beaucoup, and we'll see you shortly. Since you're in Napa, we'll see you hopefully in the next week or so. Um, Hopefully, with Justine being able to reopen the gym, maybe as Phase 3 is coming to Napa County.
Yes, sir. I will do.
All
Thank
right,
you
big
so much
dog.
for your time. I appreciate it.